everyone, welcome back to Sunshine in the Kitchen. Thanks so much for joining me today. Today I have a lemony herb rice stirred in with some peas, a great side dish for chicken, steak, and just about anything. So first things first, here is my rice. I have it in a strainer, and the reason why I have it in a strainer is because rice has tons of starch. We're going to want to wash this out really well for at least a minute, and you're going to just see all this gray water release itself from the rice. The reason why we don't want that in our rice is because if we left it and just added water to the pot, it would get really gummy and mushy, and we really just want to eliminate as much of it as possible. Right here I have a cup and a half of rice, and I'm just going to go run this under some water. Alrighty, now time to start the rice. So I'm just going to be putting my flame on a low-medium heat. So I let my pot heat up for about a minute. Now I'm going to add just about a tablespoon of some olive oil. And to that olive oil, I'm going to add a half of a white onion or yellow onion. I'm also going to be adding a half teaspoon of some oregano. And I'm just going to eyeball it, but if you don't feel comfortable with that, then go ahead and use a measuring spoon. Now I'm going to season this with some salt and some freshly ground up black pepper. You want to make sure that you really season all of these ingredients because the rice doesn't have, well, it actually doesn't have any flavor at all on its own, so it's up to you to infuse the rice with tons of flavor. Now I'm just going to move this around, and I'm going to let the onion sweat on its own for about 5 to 6 minutes. After 5 to 6 minutes, I'm going to add 2 cloves of minced up garlic. The reason why you don't want to add the garlic now is because if you add it now, the garlic will burn, and trust me when I say burnt garlic does not taste good. So you want to add that at the very end, and when you do, it will add tons of flavor to your rice. Now that the onions have been cooking for about 5 minutes, I'm going to add my 2 cloves of garlic. And I'm just going to let the garlic sweat along with the onions and oregano for about 2 to 3 minutes. Then I'm going to add my rice along with the water and peas. So my garlic has been in there for about 1 to 2 minutes. You don't want it to get too browned. I'm going to add about a teaspoon more of some olive oil. And now I'm going to add my rice, and the reason why I added the olive oil is to bring out a really toasty flavor from your rice. You want to let it cook with the oil and the onions and the garlic for about 2 to 3 minutes, stirring occasionally. Doing that is going to bring a really nutty and toasty flavor out of your rice. Now I'm just going to stir it around so it can get all coated with the flavored olive oil of garlic and onions. If you guys could only smell what I am smelling right now, it feels like I am in a restaurant. It is just a beautiful aroma in my kitchen. You'll know what I mean when you cook this recipe. So since I used 1.5 cups of rice, the rule of thumb when cooking rice is you usually want to double the amount in water. I sort of like to tweak that rule of thumb. I like to do just a pinch under that. Instead of using 2.5 cups of water, I'm going to be using 2 1/4 cups of water. And to that, I'm going to be adding 3/4 cup of some peas. You can use fresh or frozen. I could not find fresh today, so I used frozen. I'm going to be adding a generous pinch of salt. And a bit more pepper. Stir that together. Now I'm going to crank the heat up to about medium-high. Once I see it start to form a boil, I'm going to put a lid on it, immediately put the flame to a low. Once it's on a low, I'm going to leave it covered for about 20 minutes. Then my rice will be done. Alrighty, so it's been 20 minutes. Now I'm going to remove the lid. I'm going to turn off the rice. Now it's time to fluff up your rice. And for this, you don't want to use the same spoon from before. You want to look for your biggest fork that you have, and you simply want to fluff up your rice, just like so. So I'm just going to get my rice, fluff it up. Next, I'm going to zest 1 full lemon right into the pot. Next, I'm going to be adding 2 tablespoons of chopped up hazelnuts and 1 tablespoon of chopped up Italian parsley. Then I'm going to fluff that up one last time. You guys, I am so impressed with this rice. You guys will know what I'm talking about once you try out this recipe. I cannot wait to plate it and for my family to see it because they're going to think, what restaurant made this? I'm sorry, Sunshine in the Kitchen. That's what restaurant. Alrighty you guys, so this is what the rice looks like when it's done. It smells so lemony, and when you bite into it, you got that nice little crunch from the hazelnuts. You can taste a little bit of those Italian parsley and the peas. I just plated this up next to some chicken because this is what I'm going to be eating for dinner tonight. And now that the chicken and the rice is right next to each other, I'm realizing I should have made a video on this chicken because plated together, it just looks beautifully. I even put some in a container for a meal prep for tomorrow. I just have the rice alongside 3 strips of chicken, and hopefully next week I can get a video up on how I made this chicken so you can make a nice little meal prep like this for the week. However, when serving this just on a dish, I do like to reinforce some of the products that I use in the rice as a topping, so I'm just going to sprinkle on a little bit of some pine nuts. And I'm going to top it off with a little bit of parsley. And I'm going to sprinkle some parsley right on here. It just looks beautiful for presentation, and the people that eat it are going to know, oh hey, there's some hazelnuts in here, or hey, there's some parsley in here. And you could even zest some lemon right on top so they know that there's some lemon in there as well. And here I go. Delicious as expected. That rice is not mushy at all. It is just nice and fluffy and packed with flavor. As always, it was a pleasure showing you my recipes. And until next time, God bless from my kitchen to yours. Bye!